Hi, this is Ben, and I am going to be installing this Petleso pet door. This is made to go into a screen door, and we got it for our cats so they could have more freedom to go in and out without any help from us. The door does come with installation instructions as well as the nuts and bolts needed for installation. Both sides provide locks that are easy to slide open and shut, and this allows you to have the door locked or unlocked. If you want it to open only one way, you can simply set the tabs to the locked position while the door is swung past the lock slots. I'm not really sure this is part of the design, but hey, the option's there if you want to use it. The frame does come taped together, so just to be aware, these are actually two sections of the frame and not just one, so we have to take the tape off. Inside the frame, there are some teeth that I think help grip onto the screen just to give it some more stability. The first step I took to install this was to tape up one side of the frame in the position I wanted. I used a level just to make sure it wasn't crooked. One quick tip, I made some cuts in the screen where the door hinges will be going. Otherwise, I think the screen will be too tight and too taut for the door hinges to fit into the holes. The next step was a bit tricky. The bolts are pretty tiny. They're still not small enough to fit through the screen holes, so I had to snip little bits of the screen to make tiny holes that the bolts could fit through. I ended up using nail clippers for this. Doing this, I was able to get all the bolts through the screen. So for the next step, I took the other frame and placed it on the other side of the screen. This part was a bit tricky as well because the bolts were just a little bit off in each place, so I had to do them one at a time. Plus, the nuts are so tiny, I had to use a needle nose pliers to hold them in place on the one side while I used a Phillips head screwdriver to screw in the bolts on the other side. But once I figured this out, it was easy to go around and get all of the bolts set and tightened up. After the door frame was secure, I needed to cut out the screen. So I did this with a razor blade as well as nail clippers just to get all of the little threads all the way around. You want this to be flush with the frame so that it does not hinder the movement of the door. The final step was to put the door in. This only required bending the door a little bit to fit each plastic tab into the hinge holes. So cutting the screen earlier in the hinge holes was definitely helpful. So with all the trimming done, the door swung nice and freely. It does hold itself closed with a magnet, which is nice. This is handy to keep the door closed when it's not in use. The cats can easily nudge their way through once they learn it won't hurt them. All in all, this was a little bit of a challenge to put together. It wasn't complicated, but just tricky with all the little steps to take. So hopefully this video helps. We're still working on getting the cats to go through, but I'm confident they will get used to it. And it sure beats having the cats scratching up our house to get out. Thanks a lot for watching.